This is part 7 of why we are no contact with my mother-in-law, who refers to herself as the sainted mother. So at this point, they found out that we got married in secret and they want us the fuck out of their property. And they are putting eviction notices on the doors. They're calling us, they're texting us, they're leaving us voicemails. The eviction was not legitimate. It was just shit that was printed off of Google, but they wanted us out and we honestly wanted to be out. That's why we got married. That was one of the main reasons we got married, is so that we could figure out a way to get out of this situation. So I will rewind for just a minute to explain to you guys the relationship with my father-in-law, because many of you guys have guessed it, that he was not necessarily like super complicit in all of this, but he also wasn't helping the situation. He wasn't trying to talk her off the ledge. He wasn't trying to make this any better for us or any easier for us. He just let her do whatever the hell she was going to do. And then he would hide in the garage or hide in the basement and play his guitar or work in the garage or work long hours and basically stay the fuck away. And honestly, could you blame him? I couldn't. So my relationship with my father-in-law, my husband's relationship with my father-in-law was great. He was a very nice man. He liked me really well. I would bring him over treats and I knew he liked my chocolate chip cookies. I knew he liked my pumpkin pie. He secured the nail in my coffin when he told my mother-in-law, you know, when we have a restaurant, this is like something they'd always dreamed of, Jessica's going to be our chef. Oh my God, why would you ever say that to your wife who hates your daughter-in-law? Because now she's like, oh, you just like Jessica's cooking better than you. Jessica should just cook all of your meals. Why am I even around when Jessica's here? Jessica. And I'm like, oh my God, this was not the move, dude. But at this time, when we're in the middle of trying to leave and be evicted, Matt met with his dad and he said, look, could we have a relationship, just me and you? Not with mom, because I don't want mom to ruin my relationship with my dad. I would still like to have a relationship with you. Can we keep what's said between me and you? Can we just have a relationship, just us? And his dad turned around and told every word of the conversation right to his mom. And that was like that was the end for him and his dad, because he couldn't trust his dad. He couldn't trust anything. He couldn't say anything to him without knowing for sure that it was going to get right back to her. He wasn't asking to have his dad lie to his mom. He just wanted their relationship to be their relationship and his relationship with his mom to be his relationship with his mom. So at this time, we decide we're not going to be able to secure a conventional mortgage because we have not been working full time for 2+ years. And mind you, this is in 2014. So this whole scenario would not have worked out in today's housing market, but we were very lucky to have been hooked up with a real estate agent through my dad. My dad came down and was helping us look at houses. And we got connected with this real estate agent who was connected to an investor who was willing to purchase whatever house we picked out and sell it to us on land contract for like a slight fee. But he was giving a simple interest, which if you know anything about mortgages, they are not on simple interest. And we got a hell of a deal. And we were able to actually, like, when we moved, sell that house at a profit, which is how we got to get here. And whenever anybody asked, how did you guys get to where you are today despite all of this? Truly like dumb luck and our investor, Steve. He helped us get to where we are, because if it was not for him, we wouldn't be in the situation we are today. And I'm so forever grateful to him for believing in us and taking a chance on us, because we were just two kids who had this much money and a need to get the fuck out. And he helped us. And we were able to find a little tiny house on a tree-lined street in a safe little neighborhood. Not the greatest neighborhood, but definitely not a house filled with rats and mold and bees. And we got this little house for cheap. You can't buy a house as cheap as we got this house back then. So we moved in the cover of darkness. I shit you not. On Thanksgiving Day, we actually ate McDonald's for Thanksgiving dinner that year as we were driving our U-Haul truck that we had packed to the brim into our new home. And we set up our entire house that night, which honestly was not that hard, coming from the fact that we had a 500 square foot house and we moved to like a 1,200 square foot house. So we had a lot more space. And we could finally breathe a sigh of relief. And we were no longer connected to his parents. We don't owe them anything. It is just us in our new little house, in our new little neighborhood. And they can't do shit to us. They can't evict us. And we are not answering their phone calls. So they're sending us some letters. And we are not answering their text messages. And eventually, everything kind of slows to a stop when they realize we're not answering. We're not calling them back. We're not doing any of it. Matt's childhood dog died. His dad called him up and asked if he wanted to come and bury the dog with him. And Matt never called him back. And as sad as it is that he didn't get to bury his childhood dog, it just was not worth reopening that entire can of worms when we finally found peace And we were finally not beholden to them for anything. And one day we were on our way to work and we walk out of the front door of our house. And in front of our house, there's a SUV parked right in front of us. And it had one of those like peel off magnetic signs like that you could get for like, if this is like a temporary company car or something. And it was like some random real estate agency I'd never heard of. And I thought nothing of it until they leaned out their window and started taking photos of us. And that's how we found out that his parents allegedly hired a private investigator to come and find us and take photos of us. Now, nothing actually came of this other than just being totally creeped out that someone's taking photos of us exiting our house. And now we obviously know that they know where we live because we did not tell them where we moved to. But we later found out that right around the corner from his mom's house, there was a private investigator's office. And sure as shit, that real estate agency sign was on the side of one of the vehicles in the parking lot. And I thought, ding, ding, ding. Now, I didn't connect the dots on that until years later. We just assumed that it was probably her, and we still don't have any proof that she hired a private investigator to come and find us. But then everything kind of slowed to a stop. Like nothing came of the private investigator taking pictures outside of our house. Nothing really came of much of anything. We went and got married, very small ceremony. No one from his family was invited. It was literally just my family and my parents' friends and things like that in my hometown. My family then learned that we had gotten married in secret. No one was really upset. They kind of understood the situation. And I wish our story ended there, but it doesn't. Sadly, I think the story gets worse from here, but that's a story for next time.